Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel. Good morning. Good morning. Sunday morning here. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I guess there's a lot of things going on, I guess, in the YouTube world, and we're here to discuss all of this morning. I guess a lot of this centers on a lot of misinformation. Oops. I started playing a video. Hold on 1 minute. Misinformation. I'm playing my own video. Technical difficulties. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna talk about I guess a lot of misinformation that is it's going on and on and on about this whole Chris Potter issue, and I guess the trolls out there are taking advantage of the situation, and as they say in America, making a mountain out of a molehill. Dealing with the doctor's security. Now we're talking about personal security. You all know, if you've been following anything related to Planet X, you all know that there are factions out there that do not want the information getting out there. Dr. Albers is not street smart, okay? She's not street smart. So her security and her safety traveling halfway around the world to get to the United States was a huge concern of mine and hers. Excuse me. In all actuality, I mean, you know, we really don't have to explain that to anybody. It's common nature. You know, her flight was going from South Africa to the Middle Eastern terrorist country, Qatar. Okay, anything could possibly happen during layovers. And then she was flying to New York City. And then she had a 6-hour layover in New York, if everybody has to know the itinerary. And then she flew into Pittsburgh. Well, the troll factions, really, it was these two idiots over there at WTF Sky, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, that basically, you know, they have all of these fake accounts, and they're in the live chat, and they act like, you know, they're your friend. And they're sitting there, they're gathering information, and then they go on to their live stream and they make up a bunch of lies and they talk a lot of crap, and it's a bunch of mistruth. That's what they do, okay? These two people are complete scumbags, scum. Now, going back a few weeks ago, Chris was telling me and telling the doctor, and he even made videos about it, that he thought the microphone in his computer setup was bugged, okay? He did videos on it. The trolls made fun of him for days on end. Even Dazza the cameraman made a video talking about the component that he bought to detect the bugs actually detects RF frequencies, radio frequencies. It was a gadget, okay? A gadget. There was no bug in the microphone, and he kept saying that he was getting hacked. His computers were getting hacked. He was tearing his computers apart and rebuilding them. Okay, so if you have a huge freaking security risk like that, then why would the doctor be giving her travel itinerary and her traveling arrangements to him if he's being hacked? Does that make any sense to anyone? Honestly. Okay, I don't know what the hell is going on inside of his head, but there is nothing wrong with me and him. Now, however, if he wants to continue to make videos about me and videos about the situation without knowing all of the entire story, well, that's fine. That just goes to show you someone's character. Pick up the phone, give me a call. Hey, Scott, what's going on? He has my cell phone number. He has every means to get a hold of me.
Can you help me like this with something? And do you do like the what they say in this country? Do you do like the?
Yes.
I want you to give me one box of fortune cookie so I can take it.
You want a fortune cookie?
How about I give you? Okay. How about I give you? Okay, I work at a shop. No, I went
fortune
for the
cookie,
cook, but nobody have it. So I want to.
fortune cookie.
And do you do like?
Okay, one down. Anyways, so, you know, me and the doctor were having a conversation one day, and I told her, I said, listen, I'm very concerned because I keep getting all of these emails from someone in Germany telling me that they've been investigating Chris Potter and he doesn't work for Oracle and they think that he's a secret agent. You know, I get these messages and emails from people all day. I don't pay attention to them. Do I think Chris Potter's a secret agent? No. Does Chris think he's a secret agent? I don't think so. But whenever myself and the doctor were having the conversation, I said, listen, I said, I'm going to put this guy to rest, meaning the jerk off that was sending me all of the emails. It was probably that jerk off Jake over there at WTF Sky and his chubby cohort, Chubby Maury. Okay, because they like to play sickening games. They even admit that they are trolls. So they've had their battles, personal battles with Chris. Maury infiltrated him just like she did the WSO. I don't have any problems with Steve Olson. I don't have any problems with Chris Olson or Chris Potter. If these people have problems with me, then bring it to me. Don't go on YouTube and make stupid ass videos and run your mouth. Bring it to me. But the bottom line is, you know, Chris never said anything to me. So I was telling the doctor, I said, listen, this guy in Germany or whoever he is, I'm going to put this to rest. I'm going to prove to this idiot that Chris does work for Oracle. Okay. And in the process of that, Oracle basically, you know, I said, oh, look, I'm going to call there and I'm going to say, hey, listen, you know, do you have any work at home programs? Because the guy was telling me that he knows all about Oracle and Oracle doesn't have any work from home programs. And I said, well, I don't know about that, but, you know, I don't want to get Chris all uproared and get him all upset that somebody's looking into him. So let me investigate it. Let me find out. And that's exactly what I did. But before I can get all of the information, all hell broke loose. And, oh, what is this? 1 second. Hold on one second. I was having a little technical issue here. So basically, you know, the doctor was, hey, if you could do me a favor, whoever this is, hold on one second. I was having a little technical issue.
Don't call me stupid, okay?
Basically, you know, the doc, anyways, hold on one second here. So anyways, before I could even get the information to Chris, the doctor and Chris were having a conversation. The doctor was telling him about the situation. She was upset. And right off the bat, you know, Chris makes the comment to her, well, 99.9% of what Scott says is bullshit. Whoa, really? Really? So after I helped you for all of these months, building your channel, helping the doctor, helping you, being your friend, then you consider 99% of what I say to be bullshit. Well, you know, I find somebody like that untrustworthy then. So if you think that what I'm saying is 99% crap, then you don't need to be in my circle. That's the bottom line. That's it. Right out there in a nutshell. So I don't have time in the course of my day to play games, adolescent games, with individuals that jump the gun and talk a lot of shit. Bottom line. Now, you know, it's taken me a lot of my personal time to put things together for the doctor to get her to the United States safely. And I don't owe anybody an explanation for what I do. But, you know, all of you as the subscribers to this channel, hey, I let you in on a lot of the information. I wasn't going to publicize her entire itinerary because that would be stupid. And if anybody would want to do any harm to her, that would be the perfect opportunity. Itinerary, because that would be stupid. And if anybody would want to do any harm to her, and you know, this is exactly what I wanted to show you people.
What the hell?
That would be, and if anybody would want to do any harm to her, idiots like that. You know, so I can't even put a link in the live chat for you folks to come in here and talk, because you have these idiot troll factions that are meant and employed to upset everything. That's the bottom line. So there's no issue between me and Chris Potter, but however, he must think that 99% of what I say is crap. Well, that's his opinion. I can't help that, nor do I have time to play little playground games with anybody. You know, the doctor wanted to stay anonymous from her very, very beginning, dealing with Steve Olson and Wayne Steiger. Her information, her personal information, got leaked out through them from Jake Riley, who ended up over there at WTF Sky. And then they started trolling her and harassing her. And then Astronomy Live over there, all of a sudden, bingo, there goes the whole entire her and her the whole entire email to the chancellor of the university. And you all know the story, what happened afterwards with the doctor's her employment there. But you know what we did? We turned a negative over into a positive, and you know, she wanted to write a book, her employment, and that's exactly what she's going to do. She's going to go ahead and write a book.
Yes.
And you know, she wanted to write a book.
I can hear you.
Her employment, and that's exactly what she's going to do. Now, the people that you see infiltrating the chat, that is Maury and Jake over at WTF Sky, and they're nothing but low-life scum. And if any of you want to go ahead and follow their YouTube channel and listen to their blatant lies, well, then go right ahead. It's not going to get you anywhere. But, you know, I mean, the doctor's not going to take any harassment. Yes, she is here in the United States. You know, Maury over there at WTF Sky, she referred to the doctor as a rotten, stinking, you know, bitch. And, oh, I hope that CUNT loses her job. She's nothing but this, she's nothing but that. So, you know, folks, that just goes to show you of the quality of these types of people. Okay? They're complete scum. So, you know, protecting the doctor and her safety and her security, you know, that comes first. I'm sorry if anybody else got their feelings hurt. It's just too damn bad. But we're here for one reason, and that is to investigate what is happening in our solar system and with our planet. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. Now, yes, there is drama that comes around with this all the time. Our planet is constant. It's absolutely constant, nonstop. Because, you know, these world governments, they do hire these low-life factions to disrupt all of this. They do it on a daily basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. You all see the comments in the comment section of any YouTube video dealing with Planet X, Nibiru, Wormwood, whatever you want to call it. They go through massive extents to shut this information down. And when they found out that the doctor was possibly coming to the United States, well, all hell broke loose. And it's been painstaking. They think they're winning the game, the battle, whatever they want to call it. They're not winning anything. Okay? The lady wanted to come to the United States, and she wanted the opportunity to quietly sit down, continue her investigation, and write a damn book. And she wants to go and hold public conferences and seminars. Okay, coming to the United States was the right move. I didn't talk her into it. It was something that she wanted to do. She's not being manipulated by me. She's not being taught to lie. She's a grown-ass woman, an educated woman with a passion and a drive, and she wants to do what she wants to do, and I'm helping her. And if people don't like it, hey, you know what? Walk out in front of a bus. I don't care. Neither does she. So, you know, this little front porch discussion this morning, hey, we'll get it all out there, but I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this because, you know, we have some serious things about to happen with our planet in the next 24 hours. Oh, actually, let me rephrase that. Probably the next 12 hours. We have a massive wave of solar energy that's probably going to be impacting us by noon today. So I don't have time to play childish games with Maury Binder, Jake Riley, Steve Olson, and Chris Potter. You all want to step up to the plate and be adults? Hey, fine. We could all, whatever. But the doctor's not here to play games. I'm not here to play games. Whoever wants to be a part of this channel, you can be part of this channel. But don't jump to conclusions and, oh, I feel so bad. What did you do to Chris Potter? Nobody did shit to Chris Potter. I told Chris numerous times, stop making those stupid videos because all you're doing is giving the trolls more ammunition. And if we are a team, me, the doctor, and Chris, then whatever I do, you know, that shows up on the doctor and him. Whatever he does, that shows up onto me. And I'm trying to help him every single day by, you know, striking these.
This guy beats children. He beats children. He threatens to burn houses down. He is threatened to swat at our house.
Right now.
This guy has a criminal record a mile long. You got something to say, buddy? You're slandering us on your channel?
We're listening to you flap your fat gums.
Jake has the Grand Solar Minimum channel, and you're scared people are going to find out Nibiru isn't real? What the hell is wrong with you?
Nobody's talking about Nibiru except
you're
your fat
slandering
gums.
Another channel because they don't have the same views as you, and then you send them over to our channel?
Keep flapping. Come on, Chubby. Let's hear it. We're listening. Keep flapping them fat gums. What you really ought to do is you really ought to just spend some of your time and your money in the damn gym.
That's all you got is ad hominem, Scott. These people are going to catch on to you.
Ooh,
these people are going to catch on to you.
Listen, you fat fuck. They're already catching on.
See, this is all you got.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we have to go through each and every day with these complete scumbag idiots. So, the doctor made her way to the United States, and within 24 hours of her being here, this is what we're putting up with. Getting hit from every single angle under the sun. We knew this was going to happen, and we're prepared for it. No problem. You know, they even contacted a conference that the doctor was supposed to be speaking at, and she was going to be giving 2 speeches there between the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of July, I think even the 6th. And they even contacted the conference and trying to find out if she was going to be speaking. And she made a conscious decision to, you know, come to the United States and, you know, basically skip the conference. She wrote 2 beautiful abstracts that were basically
if she's with you right now, why don't you get in front of the camera with her?
Oh, okay, listen.
Why don't you guys get
right
in front of the fucking webcam together?
Stop
if you guys are right there in the same room together, come on, tell me.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Get next to each other in the webcam if you guys are together. Fucking prove me wrong, bitch.
I will, fat fuck. Hold on.
Prove me wrong. You're a fraud. You scammed all these people out of money. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Move over. Hey.
See, there you go. That's all you had to do.
Are you chubby.
Is that how you're going to get your visa, Claudia? How long are you going to be here for? Did you get caught out of that conference because you got banned because you're bullshit? I'm still going to call these people at the fucking university and find out what happened. What you're doing to people, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
Ask the doctor what she's doing.
What are you doing?
Ask her why is she with Scott?
Why are you with a child beater? Why are you with a guy with a who gives you security guard that's a child molester? Have you researched this? Have you background checked these people? You should be ashamed of yourself how you treated Chris. He was a good friend to you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what we're dealing with, and we just wanted to put them on the spot and out these scumbags over there at WTF Sky. So you clearly see that the doctor is in the United States, sitting right next to me, and, you know, we're going to move forward. That's the bottom line. They've been harassing her for months now. These people over at WTF Sky, they were definitely involved with Astronomy Live in getting her in a lot of trouble with her university, making up a ton of lies and doing what they did. But like I said, we took a big negative and we turned it into a positive. And she does want to continue writing her book. She's already started it. You know, she's been suffering from some jet lag, 36 hours traveling and in the air. Well, you know, that would beat down anybody. But, you know, she's been starting on her book, and we're going to do some live streams daily as soon as she gets herself up to speed. So there's no lying going on here. Nobody did anything to Chris Potter. Okay. Mari and Chris, well, Chris thought that Mari was his friend, but in turn, you know, she was basically trolling Steve Olson, trolling him, and many, many others. She's basically a YouTube rat, and so is Jake Riley. But anyways, you know, we're really not here to discuss these retards. We were basically just going to have a little bit of an open forum and allow people to step in here and talk to the doctor. But you can clearly see you can't even do that because these scumbags will disrupt everything. So nobody did anything to Chris Potter. Nobody did anything to him. He just made a bunch of assumptions. He created his own situation with his, you know, so-called security leaks and hacking. Well, come on, people. I mean, why would you continue to further information towards him by email, by, you know, video conferencing, cell phone? I mean, why would you continue to push information towards him concerning the doctor's travel itinerary? Makes no sense. I hope you all understand. So anyways, let's get down to it. Doctor, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Scott. And you?
Sunday morning, look at that. Woo!
Yeah.
So what do you think of this situation here? Pretty outrageous, don't you think?
I think so. I think that, you know, the last email I sent to Chris was that, you know, I wanted to keep on sending him all the documents I write as usual. So I find it strange that all this is going on. I never wanted to stop my friendship with Chris. I don't know what is going on, to tell you the truth. I haven't changed my mind about working with Chris. I don't really understand it, Scott.
Well, you know.
I never wanted to stop my friendship.
Oops. Sorry, I had my cell phone running there for a second. Trying to look into the chat here. Did I ever mention to you that I wanted to stop my friendship with Chris? But, you know, the hacking information that he was talking about was a big concern.
Yes. Yeah, I think you wanted to just keep me safe whilst I traveled to the United States. I think that was it.
Bottom line.
Mm.
Okay. Chris was never referred to as a secret agent. I don't know where he's coming up with all of this. Maybe he's losing control. Maybe trolls got to him. Maybe these people over at WTF Sky got to him. I don't know. But nobody did anything to him. Nobody kicked him out of our group. Nobody did anything like that. But folks, You know, when you're about to be a public figure, or you are in the limelight, such as the doctor is, I mean, you know, she didn't have anybody like a security, executive security personnel to travel with her. You know, she was going to a third world, Middle Eastern country to connect in a flight and have a pretty, you know, long layover in Qatar, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, good job.
Excuse me for, you know, using the God's name in vain, but please understand, you know, she's not street smart. She's not an avid traveler all over the world. I mean, this is her first time in the United States. So if you're having hacking problems with your computer, your cell phone, your microphone, then why would you be given, you know, these travel arrangements? You know, last conversation all three of us had, he said, "Hey, Scott, listen, you know best. You take care of it." So what did I do? I took care of it. And she's here. She's safe. She arrived. Everything is perfectly fine, except some people are losing their minds. And if you want to lose your mind on your own time. Don't involve me. But we're going to get right down to it. Now, there were some comments made by him that, you know, I don't know, that I'm forcing the doctor to lie. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I have some type of, you know, a shock collar around her neck. And every time she won't lie for me, I turn the button on and she gets electrocuted. Doctor, show them your shock collar. Show. Oh, Lord have mercy. But anyways, folks, you know, we have some serious things about to occur, you know, probably within the next 12 hours. You know, we have a pretty big wave of energy coming from the sun that's going to be impacting the earth. And it's probably one of the strongest ones that we've seen in quite a while. You know, we've already seen a pretty good uptick in this earthquake activity, the magnitude of these earthquakes and the depth of these earthquakes, and earthquakes occurring in strange places. You know, so we kind of wanted to get this out there, and we wanted to kind of, you know, put this whole Chris Potter nonsense to rest. You know, Chris still has a place here with us, but whenever you choose to, you know, step behind my back and tell people that 99% of what I say is BS, well, I have to say that you're completely 100% wrong, especially after I've helped as much as I possibly could. And I've put myself out there every single day. But anyways, you know, you're always going to have drama when it comes to this type of investigation.
Hey, Scott O'Rooney, let me ask a question to the doctor.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Hold on. Let's properly introduce this guy. This is Mr. Jake Riley over there, WTF Sky, WTF Sky Live.
Hello, everybody.
What's going down there, Jake? Sorry I woke you up this morning.
No, I didn't get woke up. Hey, listen, the big problem with everything, and it's just like with a recent member of our community. We caught him in so many BS lies. Nobody believed him. And that's kind of how things are with you. Nobody believes what you say. So we really did question. I have an apology to make. I made the claim that the doctor wasn't in the United States. I said I would apologize, and I'm going to apologize.
Where's my 50 grand? No, that's all right.
No, that's not the bet. The bet is that there is no Nibiru. So, and I'm pretty sure that I would win that money, but you don't have it to pay.
Jake,
so,
Jake, I haven't referred to anything about Nibiru in 6 or 7 months.
You're right. And what you're referring to is brown dwarf stars in our solar system. What I try to communicate to you and your followers is that if there were brown dwarf stars in our skies would be lit up like the 4th of July, guys, at nighttime. That's what I don't understand.
I don't know, Doctor. What do you think?
Well, I think our skies all lit up. I think that's
No, I mean like the
first
stars.
noticed.
These things are as big
I
as the
noticed
sun.
that the sky was red, that the clouds were red, and they were red far away from where the sun was, and that was impossible. In fact, that is what started my investigation, the fact that the sky looked red, and it had to be illuminated by a red light source. So
Oh my
when the
God.
sky is illuminated by a red light source,
Why
and
is it not the sun?
the clouds can be red where
Sure,
the
they
sun
can with
is.
light reflected in the
and
stratolayer. Yes, they
sun is
can.
not red. The sun will look red because most of the light is absorbed by the atmosphere at
Yes.
sunset. But then the
Yes.
clouds in front of the sun could look red, but not clouds far away from the sun. But what we are actually seeing is the sun is looking yellow and the sky is looking red around it, and the clouds are looking red. For the clouds to look red, the sun has to look red. It doesn't look red. It looks
False.
yellow still at sunset. That's impossible.
The sun emits red light no matter what. We don't always see.
The
If we didn't
sun
have
emits
red light,
white light.
the plants-
Excuse me.
how
The
do plants
sun
grow?
emits white light, and if the sun emits white light, then the clouds are all white. The sun,
No.
the atmosphere absorbs some of the light, some of the frequencies, and then the sun can look reddish. And then the clouds in front of the sun would look reddish. But when the sun is yellow, it means only the blue has been scattered out.
The
None
sun
of
is
the
not
red.
yellow.
The sun is yellow. You've
No,
seen
it's not.
in many pictures.
The
where
atmosphere.
sun
The
at
atmosphere
sunset-
causes that color.
the
The
sun
atmosphere.
at sunset looks yellow, and therefore the clouds should look yellow, but the clouds look red. In fact, the whole sky around the sun.
Shut up.
He got Jake fired.
Okay.
Wonder why I'm mad.
So I wanted to ask questions about why the doctor thinks the sun's yellow. I apologize for the yelling in the back. There's people being nasty in the chat, so you'll have to forgive me for having her upset. But doctor, but doctor, the only reason why I disagree with you with the whole theory is that there is things like the light does reflect in the stratolayer of the clouds, and that's how these clouds are catching these colors that you're seeing. Has nothing to do with the sun emitting red or yellow light. It has everything to do with the atmosphere. The sun, the light from the sun is white. When it hits the atmosphere,
Jake,
that's when it
I
changes
actually
color.
taught a course on this to my students. I know exactly what happens. If the sun,
Then you know
is
that the
red,
sun emits
then-
red light. That's how
then
plants grow, right?
green light and blue light is scattered out and the sun looks red, and then there's red light to impact those clouds.
So what's the red light from then?
Only blue light is scattered off, then we look at the sun and it will look yellow. In many of the photographs taken, the sun looks yellow. It's not red, but the sky around the sun, which is yellow, is red. That is not possible
At
unless
sunset?
there is a red. Yes, at sunset.
Okay, that is
often
possible.
at
That's
other
when.
times.
Listen, doctor, do you know that the
Not
sun,
possible.
the
for
output of the sun is lower
to
at
be red
sunset?
when the
The
sun
output of the
yellow.
sun is lower at sunset. When you have lower output from the
I'm
sun,
sorry,
you
but you're not
see lower-
understanding. You
No,
need a
you don't
red light
understand.
source for
there
the
are
atmosphere
spectrums
to
of our
look red.
colors that
If
you
the-
are not.
if
You're
the atmosphere
you're
is
lying to
not
people.
red, then
You're being false, Claudia. Come on. You know
If-
the sun is not
well,
yellow.
I'm sorry if you're not able to understand this.
It's not that I
then
don't
there's
understand it. You're
nothing I
lying. The
can
sun is
do.
not yellow.
I wouldn't even argue with my students about this. If they don't understand it, I would say to them, come and see me afterwards, and I'll
Make me
explain it to
understand
you
then.
again.
I'm sorry.
And I've explained to you that for something
Hold on.
to reflect red light, it
Doctor.
has to be illuminated with red light.
Help
If
me
the
understand.
sun is not red,
Help me understand,
Yellow.
doctor. Doc,
then only yellow light can be reflected.
doctor.
The clouds then should look yellow, not red.
No, that's basic.
Yes.
You teach people.
Have-
You teach college kids. You tell them this, that the sun, if it's yellow, the cloud should be yellow.
But-
Is that what you tell them?
I think you're just not able to understand that if you shine a yellow torch on something, that it cannot reflect red light, it can only reflect yellow light.
Doctor, I'm sorry if I'm
how-
rude.
How illogical can that be?
Doctor, I'm sorry if I'm rude. I just, I think you're a teacher. You should know better. The sun emits very, very many spectrums
Excuse
of
me,
light.
but I do understand when a student refuses to listen to what I am explaining, and this is the case here.
Okay, well, Claudia, can you tell me where is the red light coming from? And if the sky is purple at night, where's the purple light coming from? Because I know where the purple sky is coming from, but I want to hear your opinion. Where's the purple sky coming from?
I didn't talk about a purple sky. I talked about a red sky.
I'm talking about, look, if you could talk about a red sky, you could tell me why the sky's purple.
A light source has to be a star. Only stars emit light.
False.
Planets only reflect light.
The purple skies are caused from highly charged particles in our
I don't
atmosphere.
think you even understand.
I do understand, Claudia. Trust me, that's the part I'm having trouble with, is that you're a doctor and you don't understand. The purple skies are from highly charged particles in our atmosphere. Same thing with everything else that you see as color-wise reflecting on the clouds. That has nothing to do with what color the sun is. So my question is, there's a red sun somewhere that's causing all these red clouds? Is that what you're saying?
Well, there are actually more than one, and it's not just about the colors in the sky.
Then why can't we see them in our sky?
I have seen the plasma discharges in the SETI images for many months.
So you believe in electric universe,
I have seen what the sun looks like. I have seen for myself in the SETI images, in SDO images, several objects around the sun. I have seen the 2007 footage of an object traversing the sun, going straight into the corona. I saw this object emitting light. I saw that it had a cloud of gas around it. And therefore, I could see it had to be a brown dwarf star, because an object with a cloud of ionized gas around it that's giving off light, it's either white dwarf or a cooled down white dwarf, which has therefore become a brown dwarf star. This is what I have learned in my stellar evolution course in my studies.
Then you would know. Then you would know that a brown you would know, doctor, that if you've done this study on brown dwarf stars, you would know that they are weak stars. They don't emit any light, but we would still see them in the sky as big as the moon at night. Why aren't we seeing these in our skies? If they are in present, we see Jupiter, we see Saturn, we see Mars, we see Venus in our skies. Why can't we see these brown dwarfs when they're bigger?
We see their effects. We see it on the magnetosphere.
Why don't we see them in the sky with our naked eyes like we're supposed to, though?
Because of the geoengineering. It's been hidden from us most of the time. It's quite faint. But the other day, Scott took a picture of a red sky.
Listen, people, if you want to believe this pseudo bullshit that they're hiding stuff in the skies, this is horseshit. This is not a doctor of anything, guys. This person's still a student herself. She is a teacher's aide at a college. She's not even a professor. The fact that she's telling you guys that the sun has to be red to reflect red clouds.
Jake, he doesn't know how to follow me or answer, and therefore he resorts to insults. That's what I can see.
Did he just call you a teacher's aide?
Yes, he did.
This guy delivers pizzas and sells used cars.
No, he just could not follow the logical argument, Scott. And I mean, I've had students like that before, and they end up failing my course. I'm sure he would fail too.
Yeah, well, he's pretty much been a failure most of his life, and he's still a failure now. But listen, if there's anybody else that wants to join us in the live stream, you're more than welcome to pop on in here. I'll put the link in the description, or the link in the description box. Oh, I'm so used to making videos. I'll put the link in the live chat. You can join us. That's what we're here for. So give me a second. I'll put it in the live chat. Doobie doobie doo. Okay. Well, there you go. Whoever wants to pop in and, talk to the doctor and talk to me, you're more than welcome to click on the link, jump in here. Don't be abusive, and we could have a normal conversation. That's what it's all about. She's not here to be abused. She's here to help and educate all of us. And no, she's not, not a teacher's aide.
To be live on air.
Who's that? Marty! Who's that? Marty!
Hey, what's happening, Scott?
What's going down, brother? What's going down, brother?
Oh, I'm in Aiken at my mom-in-law's house, just joining in the chat. I'm glad that guy Jake is gone. He wasn't doing too well.
Did you hear him call her a teacher's aide?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That guy was totally ignorant. I mean, just take a look and see what's going on.
Hey,
The
listen.
writing is on the wall.
Yeah, you know.
Where's the doctor?
I had a chance. I had a chance the
Hello.
other day to.
Claudia, why are you with Scott when he's got people who are going to protect you that are sex offenders? And Scott's a felon himself. Why aren't you smart enough to do background checks?
Hey, Claudia.
Hello.
Hello. I just want to welcome you to the United States.
Thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to meeting you and seeing you. That would be fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to be.
And thank you for all your hard work.
We're going to try to organize some things in the upcoming months. Hopefully, you know, we all have that amount of time. But
That'd be great.
One thing mention. Hold on 1 second, Marty. I'm getting a little feedback from your mic. I'm just going to mute you for 1 second while I talk. But the other day, when I was sitting down talking with the doctor, she actually showed me her thesis. Well, one of them. It is actually in a hardback book, like a novel. And when I started leafing through it, she knows that I hate math. And whenever I started leafing through it, it gave me a freaking headache to look at what she has accomplished. And, you know, I mean, Jake calling her a teacher's aide is completely the most disrespectful thing you can possibly say. You know, this woman has 2 master's degrees, a doctorate. And yes, she was supposed to be speaking at this international conference in South Africa. And they actually contacted her and asked if she would speak about the 2 abstracts that she wrote. And one of them was about the SDO eclipse, and that's what NASA hides from everybody. And she also wrote an abstract pertaining to the presence of brown dwarf stars in our solar system. Okay, now this is a physics and who else is there, Doctor? Are there astrophysicists there?
Oh, yes. I actually submitted one of the abstracts to the astrophysics section and the other one to space science. So the SDO was going to space science and the brown dwarf presentation was going to astrophysics section of the conference. Yes, and my abstracts were accepted. So I would have been there if I hadn't decided to come to the United States instead. I actually, a friend of mine and colleague is part of the council for the SAIP. And I spoke to him a day or so before, and he asked me what's happening about your presentations. And I said, oh my goodness, I forgot to say anything. And he said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. I will tell the president that you cannot be there. So I think they've removed my presentations from the program now. But that's what happened.
Well, it just goes to show you that the 2 abstracts, you know, which are peer reviewed by everybody on the committee, they were so interesting and so credible that they actually invited her to speak not once, but twice in the course of several days pertaining to these professionally written scientific abstracts. You know, come on, guys. You know, enough with the BS. You know, the doctor is a real person. You're looking at her. Look, you see her pretty face? Look. Wave. Wave at everybody. What's happening, Sam? How are you, buddy?
Hey, Scott. What's up, Scott?
Not too much. You know, we're just trying to have a little Sunday morning front porch hangout here, and it got real radical in the beginning.
I just got one thing to say. It's like one obvious thing to say. For the past 2 to 3 years, there have been average, everyday people, common people with no agenda, no hidden agenda, that have documented with their own cameras, simple cameras. They have documented, and it's on record, and it'll be there forever because they've uploaded it to the internet. They've documented these brown dwarf stars, documented these orbs around the sun. Are we supposed to not believe our own eyes from common, average, regular people that have documented these images, videotaped them? Who is this dickweed? I'm sorry for the language. He's a dickweed. Who is this dickweed? Does he expect us to not believe our own eyes from the past 2-3 years that we've seen with our own eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's right.
You know, I mean, they've been after me since probably mid-August of last year. It's been pretty much nonstop. They infiltrated Steve Olson's WSO channel, and you know, then they basically, you know, they make their way through a lot of the other channels, harassing them, trying to discredit them. And you know, you only come to one conclusion, and that conclusion is very, very simple. You know, they're being funded like a George Soros. You know,
they're all going down the drain. They're going down the drain, and it's imminent. As much as these stars and the effects they'll have on us, and what's going to happen in the near future, these characters are going to go away in a very, very quick blink of an eye, flash.
Yeah, I mean,
gone.
I mean, in all actuality, you know, people like that have some of this insider information, you know, as well as I do, when it's all said and done, they'll be the first ones that get eliminated, you know, to shut them up, to quiet them, silence them. I don't think they understand that. You know,
Yeah,
I don't
they're
think
like
they
the
understand
brown
who
shirts,
they're messing with.
brown shirts or the black shirts, whatever they were called. The
Men in
enablers,
Black.
The enabler. yeah, the black shirts, the enablers. They're losers. They're not effective at all. His argument is pathetic. First of all, if you've got all the video documents and archives and footage from the past 2 to 3 years, if not longer, that have been documented from around the world, I think this is like the bottom line, like, what do you call it? The
evidence.
The evidence. It's like the clearest evidence you can have. It's like the punctuation
That's right.
mark. You can't argue with it.
Yeah, people around the world have been seeing these things, but they are told, no, you didn't see that. No,
Yeah, that only works
you know,
for so long.
this is why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to tell people, look, it's true. These objects are here. And I use a logical progression thought process, because I myself started observing this. I started observing objects, and I questioned what is going on, and are other people seeing them? And then I saw that other people were seeing them, like you, Sam.
Yeah.
And I then started trying to
In South
understand.
Africa, they were more visible than in many other places in the southern hemisphere.
That's right.
You could see these orbs in the sky in midday. I've seen several videos that many people from South Africa have uploaded, where you could see multiple light sources in the sky.
Exactly.
In midday.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
right.
sunset.
And one of the things I observed right at the beginning was at sunset, the sky was red on the west side of the sky and on the east side of the sky.
Uh-huh.
And that is totally impossible if there is only one light source. There has to be more than one. How
Right.
can the east part of the sky be illuminated by red light as well as the west part? Already the red light tells you a lot, that it's impossible, especially when the sun looks yellow, as I've tried to explain to Jake. He obviously didn't understand it. But
He did understand it. He was trying to be an obstructionist. He was trying to
yes, I
put a
think
foot in your way and to basically trip you up. That's all he's trying to do.
Hey, you know what? Real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just handed the doctor her thesis, and I want her to hold it up to the camera. I want you to look at the hard back cover. I want you to look at the name on the bottom of it. Okay.
Can
Why
you-
don't you open that up and show some of that headache mathematics? Okay. So you tell
Okay,
me.
so this is the first page.
Electromagnetic mass splitting of the Goldstone pile.
That's right. So as I said, I did a PhD in theoretical particle physics.
Hold it up. Hold it up. Look at the math. Look at the math.
It's theoretical, so it's basically just mathematics.
So listen, here's my point. If you could do that kind of math and you could write a thesis,
Yeah,
then you shouldn't be delivering pizzas.
Yeah.
You don't even have the right. Here's my point, Sammy. You don't even have the right to debate this woman. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have the right to debate her. If you could sit down and you could write a thesis, a hardback thesis like that, and she's written many, then you should have the opportunity to debate her. But listen, when you come home smelling like pizza and cheese, give me a break.
You get on you, and all he did was try to shout her down. That's all he did.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
Yeah.
I think she smacked him around pretty good.
The thing is, Scott, I know what I'm talking about. I have taught on the subject for years to my students. I know what the sky is supposed to look like. I know the theory behind it. It's illogical that the sun is yellow and the clouds around it are red. It's impossible. So what can I say? You cannot change the way I think because I simply understand it. If you have understanding and you know where your understanding is coming from, and this is why me as a physicist is here to help people understand what they are seeing and not being dissuaded from the fact that what they are seeing is a true phenomena.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know what kind of terminology to use to express the sort of like the sleeping, the sort of like the coma, because the channel was titled The Awakening, but most people, I don't it's still hard to fathom how millions and billions of people can still be in a state of sort of like unawareness. Sleeping.
That's right. Well, most people have busy lives. Unless they actually stop and look at the sky and notice things and start thinking about it. And not everyone will want to do that. Most people want to stay with their lives the way they are. They don't want to be awakened. And that's their choice. People should have the right to choose whether they are awakened or not. I would like to be here for those people who would like to understand what is going on, who are looking for answers. Because I was looking for answers myself, and I had, through my own logical deductions, tried to figure out what was going on. And I've written my articles based on those deductions, and now I'm going to write this book. I started writing the book. Yeah.
And I don't think you won't be stopped. It's too late to stop anyone at this stage.
Thank you, Sam.
Because the signs are written in the skies, and it's literally written in the skies, and there's nothing to stop them from doing what they have to do. And the information won't be censored or kept out of the public's ability to gauge it, understand it.
Yes.
I mean, on top of all of this, it's like, you have layers and layers of events that are happening in correspondence or like, paralleling one another. And it's like, they're all happening together. And it's like,
that's right.
Hey, you have to really want to be in a coma. You have to be comatose. And like most people, it will catch them off guard. It will be a real surprise for many people. It'll really, sadly, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Because on top of all this, you have, you know, the
Real
events
quick,
I'm talking about is that what we talked about last time we talked, the banking systems, the wars that are happening all at the same time, that the stars have appeared and are having their effect. This is not happening you know, what's not the word spontaneously. The word I'm looking for is like it's
Oh, by chance. Okay.
It's not for
Yes.
for no reason, without any sort of significance. It's like there's a lot of significance. There's a lot of things happening all at once, all at the same time, and the effect of these brown dwarfs and the system that's interacting that's with ours. And I wanted to ask you, you really believe they're here to stay? Because if they are, then it makes a lot of sense in a
Yeah, you know, to tell you the truth, I would prefer if they were not here to stay, but it seems to me that they are definitely here to stay because they seem to be attracted to the sun. They start orbiting it in closer and closer orbits. They seem to start orbiting at an angle to the ecliptic, and then that orbit seems to shift until they're orbiting on the ecliptic and closer and closer. And it actually seems to me that they are getting energy from the sun. They seem attracted to the sun. There seems to be one that is inside the sun itself, or partially inside the south pole of the sun. So they seem to be pulled in by the sun, be attracted to it. That's why I talk about it looks like it's the strong force acting on an astronomical scale, because these objects are like protons, because stars are like protons. If you think about it, in an atom you have protons and neutrons in the nucleus, and then you have electrons orbiting around it. And in a planetary system, you usually have one or two stars, and then you have planets orbiting around. It's the same model, but I never realized until I saw what these brown dwarf stars were doing, that this was happening in planetary systems, that stars attract each other. Because
this runs counter to all the claims that have been made over the past several decades about, you know, the system coming in, and then what's the expression for when they exit?
And exiting. So it was supposed to come in. They come in orbits that seem to be like comets, because they come from outside the solar system. So they're very open orbits. But
perihelion, is that what it is? Going around the sun and then exiting?
Yes.
Perihelion?
That's right. They would go through perihelion and then go out again. Or they could just be, the orbit changes a little bit. It's a parabolic orbit. But these objects are not doing that. That's what I've observed. They come in. They dark in the beginning, they start absorbing light, they start emitting light, and they keep orbiting the sun.
Right. And it makes sense to me that this time around, they're here to stay. You know why? Because I'm gonna go off on a tangent now.
Okay.
Because again, this is going back to the subject matter we were talking about before. The last conversation I had with you, that there would be a second light source, and that it would end night. Like there wouldn't be darkness anymore. That there would be a not permanent day, but I think that there would at nighttime it would be like what you have in the poles or not the poles in the up, you know, the Arctic and Antarctic hemispheres. What's like we have like what's it called,
well, permanent daylight in the Arctic Circle when it's summer at that pole.
White nights. That's what they call them. White nights.
Yes. Now that I have already observed. If you haven't noticed, night is not as dark as it was 30 years ago.
And it makes sense because it's written. It's written and it's talked about this time.
Yes.
Now I'm going back to the religious angle and to the the mystical books that talk about this time, that there would not be darkness anymore. That if it's not going to be like full blown sunlight daytime, there won't be darkness at night. That's what.
That's right. And that's happening already, definitely, but because nighttime is definitely not as dark. Already last year, I noticed there was this yellow glow in one part of the sky at night. The sky was not going black like it was supposed to go at night if there was no moon. It wasn't happening anymore. And I think the effect is getting stronger. Because these objects emit more and more light. As they absorb more light from the sun, they are able to emit more and more light. So there will be more and more.
Around, if they're staying, they're going to continue to pull energy from the sun. And it's also written that the sun would come out of its sheath. This I can find in Hebrew. It's in the eschatology of the end times in Hebrew. That it's written in Hebrew and it's pronounced the Shemesh Titzeh min Nartika. The sun will come out of its sheath.
The corona.
Out of its corona. Yeah.
The sun is losing the corona. I mean, it is getting darker and darker. The corona holes are getting larger and larger.
That's exactly what it refers to.
That's what's happening as well. That's amazing.
Hey, Doctor, I just wanted to let me interrupt real quick. We have a lot of people that are in the chat and they're wanting to know about this incoming CME. I mean, I don't think that it is an actual CME from what we were observing, but it is coming.
It's a small CME. It's not a very strong one, Scott, but our magnetosphere is under extreme pressure at the moment.
Okay, hold on. Whoever jumped in the chat, if you could mute your microphone because we're picking up feedback. And then whenever you want to talk, just unmute your microphone. Mute your microphone.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that way we don't get...
Scott, can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, just so we get that feedback from the overplay from the video.
Okay, well, thanks for letting me come in. And Doctor, I want to thank you for your work. I'm a pale rider in chat. I had to get onto my son's computer, so I'm in on his account right now. But I'm working on my doctorate. I'm in a different area. I'm in education and educational leaders. But I'm asking you this question not as a challenge at all. It's really from the sense of scholarship and what I'm learning in my own lit review process is usually there's an existing body of work and you form your hypotheses within the context of that conversation. A scholarly conversation. And there are two papers, and I just want to ask you, in your own development of your paper, had you come across these, and did you agree with their findings? Did you disagree with their findings? Maybe you're not familiar with them, but in my own study of this topic, these are two papers that I had uncovered, and I was just wondering what your opinion was. One was by John Matisse and Daniel Whitmire. It's titled Persistent Evidence of a Jovian Mass Solar Companion in the Oort Cloud. And the other one, of course, was The Location of Planet X by now deceased naval observer Robert Sudding Harrington. So had you uncovered those papers, and what did you think of their conclusions?
To tell you the truth, I have not read them. They sound very interesting. I would like to read them. All I have done is I have observed and I have put together different observations, and I've used my own understanding of physics to come up with explanations. I have read a few papers, usually looking for information so that my understanding could develop in certain areas. That's what I have done. I believe this is the way physics is supposed to be done. This is what I teach my students, that it's not just we stand on what other people have done, but what other people have done is not necessarily true. We have to examine it. And if the observations go against what these people have come up with as theories, then we have to either change the theory or start again. So I've developed all of my understanding using this. I haven't read those papers. In the Oort cloud, yes, there are possibly, well, I'm not even sure there is an Oort cloud. To tell you the truth, there isn't actually enough evidence for me to believe that there is an Oort cloud. I actually think most of these comets are coming just from outside the solar system. You do not need an Oort cloud to have comets coming into the solar system. All you have to realize is that the galaxy is not as empty as it was supposed. It's full of brown dwarf stars. It's full of objects. It's full of gas. Everybody thought the galaxy is mainly empty space, but it looks like now it's not. And that's what I've come to that conclusion. So the fact that there are Jovian objects out there, yes, there are, because the galaxy is not as empty as we thought. It's full of stars. Most of these stars have lost their ability to emit light, and they become brown dwarf stars. So we do not see them. So we think they're not there. But the fact that they have come into the solar system and we have evidence that they are here tells you, yes, and there possibly a lot more there. If all of these that have come in from outside the solar system, there are possibly many more. And we may have a lot more still coming in at this time.
Well, thank you for your work, Doctor.
Okay.
Stay strong and God bless. And
thank you. You too.
Ignore all these haters, because you have to understand the cognitive effect here, the cognitive dissonance. I mean, if what you're saying is correct, you know, people have to deal with the reality of, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for my family? And some people just are not ready to deal with that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, you know, a lot of people are asking about the CME impact today, and also the reason why our skies are the color that they are. You know, and we've gone over that, but you know, if you want to just touch base on that a little bit, why we're seeing these burnt orange skies, these pink skies.
Well, Scott, it's very simple. The sky, the atmosphere has to be illuminated with these colors for these colors to be seen in the sky. So there has to be a source of that illumination. And we know that only stars are able to emit light, visible light. Because if we see it, it has to be visible light. It has to be of the right frequency or wavelength for us to be able to see it. So there have to be objects out there that are stars and are emitting light and illuminating the atmosphere. We often see it at sunset, because when the sun is high in the sky, it overwhelms the light from these other stars because they're weaker than the sun. But at sunset, the sunlight is not as strong, and therefore all these colors then come out. But it has to be because the atmosphere is being illuminated by these colors, and by light in these frequencies, the red frequencies, say. And that's the only reason. There is no other logical reason for the sky to look red if it's not being illuminated by red light. And I think what will happen is, as these objects become brighter and brighter, then the sky will look redder and redder further from the sunset. And I think that started to happen already. Often the sun has not set yet, and we're starting to see a lot of red in the sky and higher up in the atmosphere. So it's the only explanation. I don't have any other. Yes, it can be plasma discharges in the upper atmosphere. We did see what looked like lightning in the upper atmosphere, but that has to do with the plasma density that is hitting the atmosphere and affecting the atmosphere. And the plasma density is so high because the sun is not the only star with particle flux. In other words, a solar wind. The other stars have stellar winds as well now. So they're emitting their own particles, and the magnetosphere is being impacted from different sides by these stellar winds as well as the solar wind. So yes, you can get a plasma effect in the upper atmosphere as well. which will lead to some light being emitted from that. And we did see it the other day. I think we talked about that, Scott.
Yeah, listen, guys, if you're jumping into the live stream, make sure you turn the volume down either on your computer or your cell phone so we don't get that feedback, or just mute your device, and then whenever you're ready to talk, just go ahead and unmute it, because we'll get that feedback.
Hey, Scott.
What's happening, brother? What's happening, Mike?
Hey, how's it going? Haven't talked to you for a while.
What you doing, man?
Just being at home. Hey, I'm telling you, I've got a fantastic picture, man. I'm telling you, you would just drop your phone. It's crazy.
I can't afford another one, so don't make me drop it.
No, you don't want to do that. But no, this exactly what the doctor's talking about. This picture I've got is just, and I've sent it to you on your Facebook, and so I don't know if you've got it, but take a look at it. It's
I'll
great.
definitely do that. I've been getting barraged by emails for quite some time, and then every so often, I don't know what the problem is, but Google, they wash out all of my emails. I mean,
Yeah.
I had what was it, a few weeks ago, I had a little over 8,000 emails completely deleted. And you know, YouTube's doing the same thing with a lot of comments on the videos. They're being pushed into the spam folder and held for review. And you know, I don't know if they're doing this type of thing on purpose, because I've never had it happen before. But it's kind of hard for me to go through, you know, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300 comments and, you know, try to approve them all. And I just discovered that was happening, I think about a week ago. And it's been, I have right now, I think there's 7,800 comments that were held in a spam folder on my YouTube channel.
Right.
And I was reading some of them, and they were just normal comments. You know, I don't know what happened to him, but same thing with the Facebook page. The doctor's going to be helping me personally maintain that Facebook page. And, you know, she was suffering from a little bit of jet lag from that 36-hour journey. So we're going to be getting things pretty well straightened out. And, yeah, I'm kind of thinking maybe every Sunday we hold a little forum like this, because I wanted to be able to give everyone a voice, you know, not just a comment in a comment section under a video. I actually wanted to give people a voice, you know, and that's what we're here to do, you know. And I'm glad to see you pop in there. And I've also noticed too that a lot of people are telling me that they're sending me emails, but I'm not getting some of them. So we're thinking about possibly moving to some other type of email program, which won't be governed by such a conglomerate like Google, because I think they may be playing around a little bit with the email address.
Yeah, they like to play around with that, kind of disrupt what you're trying to do and what the doctor's trying to do. And I'm just so glad that you guys are. You're not kind of like throwing the towel up and saying forget about it. You guys are just sticking in there, and even though you guys are getting tongue lashed, you know, you guys are still hanging in there, and I commend you guys for that.
Thank you very much. Yes. Well, I believe this is my mission in life. I don't see many physicists come forward. No astronomers. I'm not an astronomer. As I said, I'm a theoretical particle physics. So I've had to learn the astronomy that I needed to learn, which it's not too bad, because physicists are trying to learn a new field if they have to. But it's a pity that there are no astronomers, no astrophysicists coming forward, because I think they're afraid. And
right. Yeah, they're just afraid of what they would get, like what you and Scott are getting. You know, they don't want to deal with all that mess. And but you guys are hanging in there, and
Yeah.
You know, I'm just glad that you guys are out here for us, because you guys are, you know, showing us what we do need to see, and you know, what to expect.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as time goes on here, you know, throughout the rest of the summer in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, I think we've only, you know, seen the very tip of the iceberg. You know, one of the major things that I've been very worried about, and I've mentioned it before, is the hurricane season in the Atlantic. I think we're going to see a lot of really, really bad weather forming in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, me and the doctor were having a conversation last night and the day before about the tilt of the Earth. We've been, you know, everybody's been asking about the moon. The moon seems out of place.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we've been trying to document it, but, you know, you get these cloudy skies, or, you know, sometimes they're chemtrailing at nighttime and they're blocking out everything, man. You can't, like last night, we could see the moon for a few hours, but it was early. And then by 9:30, 10 o'clock, the clouds came out of nowhere and bingo, we can't see anything. But the other night, I think it was her first night here. We just, you know, we were looking at the moon and it just seemed to be just not right. You know what I mean? It just seemed that it was not in the right position. I was using my sky map application on my cell phone, which is pretty cool. And it was showing me Jupiter, but it wasn't showing me the moon. And Jupiter should be right below the moon. As the moon passes by, Jupiter, it looks like Jupiter's moving, but Jupiter's actually not moving as fast as the moon. And then the moon kind of faded over to the due west, and then I was looking at it with my own eyes from the back of my house, and then it was turning like a yellowish orange color. And then out of nowhere, and this is no lie, remember the old television sets, how you turn the TV off and it fades real quick to that little dot?
Right.
Well, that's what happened to whatever was in the sky, meaning like the moon. It literally faded into a blip and it was gone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was, hold on one second. I was just reading something. I was pretty shocked at what I saw, and I still can't believe it. And the next day, it bothered me tremendously what I saw, and I cannot, you know, I cannot explain it. But whatever the hell that was, it was there 1 second, and then the next second, it was gone, man. It was gone.
Yeah, well, it couldn't have been the moon, Scott. The moon cannot do that. It had to be a moon simulator, which we know if they have sun simulators, they will have moon simulators. It's very easy. They just turn down the power a little bit, put a holographic projector with it that projects the surface of the moon, and there we are. We have the moon. Except it doesn't quite look like the moon, because it looks like an object inside our atmosphere, not an object outside our atmosphere. So that's the difference. That night, I actually looked at the moon and I said, it looks like that's not the moon, because it doesn't look like it's far away into outer space. It looks like it's in the atmosphere. So I thought immediately that's probably a moon simulator, because there are objects out there at night that will give off light as well. So that you would use the moon simulator to block those out if they can, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we know they have holographic technology.
Yes.
You know, there is absolutely no doubt. Now, I've looked at the moon last month during full moon. I looked at it through my telescope, and you know, everything looked pretty normal. But the next night, you know, we still had somewhat of a full moon, and at 9 o'clock at night, the full moon is directly over my neighbor's house across the street. And I actually woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're talking 6 hours. 6 hours went by, and I woke up. I saw the moonlight shining through the window of my living room, and I'm like, what in the hell is that? 6 hours later, I walked outside the front of my house, and the moon was still over my neighbor's house. Now, how is that possible? That's impossible.
That's not possible, because the Earth is rotating, and therefore the moon is supposed to move across the sky, much like the sun moves across the sky during the day. So that's not possible.
Right.
Can I ask you a question, Claudia?
Yeah?
The sun simulator, does it have to be in outer space or out somewhere in the upper atmosphere, or is it a holographic device as well?
I think they have holographic projectors with each simulator, but they have different designs. They have some that are in orbit, and they have some that operate inside the atmosphere itself. Because I have seen sometimes you see an object within clouds, a big round object.
Right.
And you see clouds behind it as well as in front of it. And that can only happen inside our atmosphere. And it cannot be the sun. That's
really advanced technology. That's like beyond.
They have very advanced technology, I think, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been said that the United States government and several other governments are possibly, 50 or 60 years further advanced in technology than we actually know as people. I think that number is actually very, very low. I think they're 100 years further advanced than what we know. We've heard a lot of information over the course of the last year about colonies already on Mars. Okay, the Russians just showed this colony that they have in the Antarctic, these pods. Now, these are very, very similar to what was shown for these colonies on Mars. There was supposed to be approximately 250,000 people on Mars. Why is there such a big push to get people off the Earth? Stephen Hawking, we all know who Stephen Hawking is. He just came out with a devastating statement about a month or so ago and said the humans better find another planet because within 100 years, the Earth will be no more. Now, why would he put himself on the line? He's got a pretty big reputation worldwide. Why would he put himself on the line saying something like that? And that really freaked me out. You know what I mean? Because never at any point in time did I ever say that all humanity on Earth would be wiped out. The doctor feels the same way. We don't think that humanity is going to be wiped out. The Earth is just going to get rocked around quite a bit. And, I say every single day that if you pay attention to what's going on around the world, people are losing their lives on a daily basis due to these catastrophic floods and these landslides. And look what's happening over in the Middle East with all of the people getting struck by lightning in the course of one day. Where's the lightning coming from?
And in India, like over hundreds of people in one day. And hundreds of died from lightning.
Scott, can you hear me?
Yeah, who's there?
Hey, this is Bert, Mike.
Hey, Bert.
Hey, buddy. It's good to the live stream. I got a question for you and the doctor, but I would like to say first that I'm so glad, Doctor, that you're here in the United States.
Thank you.
You're a whole lot safer here, and I'd love to go see you on tour if you ever make it out here to Oregon. My question to you would be, I'm here in Oregon, and I'm about 20 miles from the locality of the eclipse coming by. With the recent tilt of the Earth, and it seems like the moon's out of place, my question is, do you think that path of totality is going to be in the same place come August 21st?
I'm not sure, but I think the powers that be would probably make sure that it does happen. I think that if anything, yeah, the eclipse can be simulated, of course, because they have the technology to do it. If the moon is out of place, they can use a moon simulator to make sure that the eclipse happens over the right regions of the Earth. So I think it will happen.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they were just saying, what was it, last week or the week before, a very, very small asteroid exoplanet object that was outside of the orbit of Pluto was casting a shadow onto the Pacific Ocean. Okay, that is the stupidest thing that I've ever heard, because you're talking how many what billions of miles that is. This object was no bigger than the Earth outside of Pluto's orbit, and it was casting a shadow on the Pacific Ocean.
Really?
How the hell
that's impossible.
That even possible?
Yeah, that's not possible.
But yet astronomers were perched up with all of their telescopes, and they made it public. They went out there and they publicized this all over the place so they can get the information out there. So, you know, I mean, doctor, you know, you're good at the math and the mileage. I mean, an object the size of the Earth past Pluto casting a shadow on the Pacific Ocean, is that even possible?
No, of course not. It would have to pass, first of all, to cast a shadow, it would have to pass between the sun and the Earth. That's the first thing, unless it casts its shadow on Pluto itself. But if it casts a shadow, to cast a shadow on the Earth, it has to pass between the sun and the Earth, and it has to pass extremely close for that shadow to fall on the Earth. Extremely. So it seems impossible. So
yeah, I found that quite amusing whenever that story came out. And
the other thing is how all the astronomers are always so interested about what happens where Pluto is, what happens beyond Pluto, and yet the drama, what's really happening in our solar system, is happening right around the sun. But they never look at the sun. We're not supposed, it's like taboo looking at the sun. But these objects are around the sun. Most of them are around the sun. You've taken pictures of that blue-brown dwarf. This is evidence beyond anything I've ever seen that these objects are here. Many people have seen, they are seeing it with their naked eye sometimes. This is the real evidence of what is happening. So why are they so interested in the outer solar system when everything's happening in the inner solar system? Okay, you may still have some objects of interest in the outer solar system. Yes, I believe there's still objects coming in, but there's so much happening in the inner solar system. And all my observations had led to my understanding of the laws of the universe by observing what's happening in the inner solar system. But they don't want to look there. They don't want to change things, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've been pushing more and more and more for, you know, periodicals and statements and stories and articles, and it's all about 55 light years away. You know, there was an article I did a story about a few weeks back. Astronomers were talking about a big, gigantic, blue brown dwarf, not a star, but a brown dwarf, blue, just like the one I photographed, very similar looking, and it was 55 light years away, and they were able to tell that there was ice at the poles. 55 light years away. Come on, who can do the math on that? How far in miles is 55 light years? And where is the telescope that can see that? And who in the hell cares about what is 55 light years away whenever we have all of these problems on our planet right now?
Yeah.
Case in point.
And the fact that they knew exactly what it's supposed to look like was very strange as well.
Exactly.
And the fact that it looked so much like the blue-brown dwarf that's actually in the solar system. So it actually sounds like they observed the blue-brown dwarf and then they projected the story outwards.
Yeah.
But, you know, because it's not possible to see the color of what this object actually looks like when it's so far away. You can use a spectrograph to figure out what the composition is, but to actually see what it looks like, you would have to see it through a telescope. And that's very difficult in visible light. So that's very difficult for an object that's that far away. So I think actually they were thinking of the blue-brown dwarf that is close to the sun.
Yeah, I think they might have. I think they stole my idea.
Mm.
I think they definitely monitor what we do, and I'm sure that when I publicized those photographs back on May 10th and May 12th, I can guarantee you that there were probably some people at NASA ready to jump out of windows.
Yes.
Kind of like the stockbrokers on Wall Street when the market crashes.
Yes. Scott, if they were interested, that was such an amazing discovery. It should have been on the front page of every newspaper around the world. Look, we just discovered a blue-brown dwarf close to the sun. That's what should have happened if the powers that be were interested in truth, but they're not. They're interested in blocking the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then, they turned the information over to the troll factions, and they said that after putting it through forensic photography, it turned out to be Scott's dirty blue beach towel. Get the hell out of here. Give me a break. I mean, if any of you folks that follow my channel here, you saw the photographs. I mean, I don't know where they get a dirty blue beach towel. They got to get a little more creative than that. But I don't know. It is what it is. And we're going to continue each and every day with our observations and our investigations. And that's what we're here to do. The doctor is retired from lecturing. I'm retired from my business. I've been at this now on YouTube for 1 complete year. But I've been investigating Planet X for over 13 years. I think this is my 14th year, in depth. And I really never thought about jumping into the game on YouTube. But, after going through 2013 and 2014 and 2015, I just got to the point where, I started making all kinds of observations and things were just not right. And then I started making some breakthroughs, and I said to myself one day, I can't keep this away from anyone. I want to tell people what I'm seeing. I want to tell people what I know, and I want to see if I could do my part. And for that, I get kicked in the teeth, kicked in the balls, stabbed in the back, and beat down and harassed and abused on a daily basis. It's no big deal. I can take it. But, after getting together with the doctor here and getting a real scientific point of view from someone as educated as she is, now a whole new light source, I will say, a whole new light source has now casted its light upon all of this. And a lot of it is now making sense. And as the doctor said, the fact of the matter is, I truly believe that I think these objects are here. I think they're here to stay. Because if you really sit down and you think about it, a brown dwarf star attached, magnetically, their attachment to each other, the sun and the brown dwarf star, it's its host.
Mm.
So how do they break away from each other? They
That's
don't.
right.
We're talking about energies that are beyond our imagination.
Mm.
So if the brown dwarf stars have made these connections with the sun, they're not going to let loose.
No.
I mean, wouldn't it be scientifically impossible
Yeah, that's right, Scott. I mean, they are magnetically connected to the sun. That's why we see so many coronal holes. I made the connection already. The coronal holes are due to the magnetic field lines being drawn out, straight out from the sun, but they have to close somewhere. So they're drawn to join the magnetic field lines of these objects because they have high magnetic fields. Why do they have high magnetic fields? Well, it's well known that white dwarfs have extremely high magnetic fields, and brown dwarf stars are cooled down white dwarfs. So that's how they are able to draw plasma from the sun, is by drawing, by connecting magnetically to it. And once they are connected magnetically, they will keep drawing energy from the sun until the sun and these stars have equalized the energy. So this is what's happening. Basically, our sun its energy is being drawn to the point that it will become a brown dwarf star as well. I don't know how long that will take, but eventually all we will have is a whole collection of brown dwarf stars. Since one is already embedded into the sun, I would say maybe the others will try to embed themselves in the sun. So we would perhaps get a larger sun, but it will be a brown dwarf star, so you wouldn't emit as much light, but be larger. I don't know exactly what will happen. I just know that there's one embedded in the sun already. I know they're not leaving. I know the sun's getting weaker. I know the coronal holes keep happening. And I made deductions from what I see is happening. And that's what I think.
No, I put the SDO right now. I put the current 48-hour loop
yes.
up there right now.
I see this.
You know, because me and the doctor have had countless hours and hours of discussions viewing the SDO and these damn coronal holes. Coronal holes are, you know, are natural in some sense to the sun. You know, we do have them, but the constant revolution of these coronal holes coming from the left, forming on the left and facing Earth. Every single one of them. They rotate from the left and they face Earth. Okay, that is the laws of probability now have to take over. What are the probabilities of this occurring constantly for the last 24 months? It's literally impossible unless something is creating the situation on the sun and the coronal holes. That's the aftermath. Look at what you're looking at right now. You're seeing the formation of two coronal holes at the equatorial region of the sun, and those are Earth facing. And we are not going to be seeing that just yet. We're going to be dealing with another situation in about 4, 5, or 6 hours from now, and it's a pretty devastating one. This mass amount of energy that's coming our way, when this thing impacts, Doc, how long do you think it's going to stick around? 3, 4, 5 days?
The thing is, it's a CME connected to a high density region already. So the particle density that is going to hit the atmosphere is going to be severe. The problem is the magnetosphere is under attack, let's say, from several angles due to these other brown dwarf stars, which have their own particle flux. So with this huge density, and we could have our magnetosphere collapsing for a couple of hours. We could have in the particle, well, the particles are going to come in anyway through the magnetic reconnection mechanism, but they usually come from the night side, and then they go into the auroral ovals. But in this case, it could be that they come straight into the atmosphere and cause a lot of problems. As you know, if we would have currents in the ionosphere, which will then lead to currents inside the Earth, in the outer core, and then we'd have movement of magma, and then we have earthquakes, and then we have volcanic activity, and And then we have severe weather as well, because weather is to do with electric fields. And the electric fields will become stronger in the atmosphere, so we would get cloud formation. It's not just about nucleation, it's about electric fields in the atmosphere and how they lie, and that leads to severe weather. And then we could have power grid problems and things like that. And I see you showing the bow shock there. As you can see, there's quite a kink in the bow shock there. And
yeah, it's loading now.
yeah, but even then, just from a kink, you can see that it's not just being impacted by the sun.
Oh, dear God.
Look at that. It's being impacted from several directions.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. Look at it bend and...
Holy hell.
If it was... And the CME has not impacted yet. So this is just from the other brown dwarf stars.
I had a question for you, Doctor.
Yes.
I sent Scott a video of the sun shooting lightning bolts. Do you remember that, Scott?
Oh yes, I knew about that.
Are those plasma bursts or what is that? Because I haven't been able to capture it again.
Yes, I think that was a plasma connection between the sun and other objects. It's not the sun has never been known to do that before, so I think it's just connecting to these brown dwarf stars. The brown dwarf stars themselves, I've seen them in the SETI images. They're usually labeled as Venus or Saturn or something like that. But then you see these plasma discharges, thin lines coming off the brown dwarf stars. And sometimes they end at other objects that may be other brown dwarf stars, but fainter. So I have seen that happening. So the sun is starting to behave in the same way. It's having these plasma connections. Basically, it's discharge from one electrode to another. That's what it is. It's trying to equalize the potential between 2 points. And then you get these plasma discharges going across from object to object. Yeah.
Have you seen the video yet?
No, I'm not. I don't think I've seen your video, but I know that it happened a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
Scott
has it on.
That was a pretty long time.
Scott has it on subscribers video.
Oh, okay. Maybe I have seen it then, because I saw it quite a few weeks ago, even months. I remember seeing some videos about that. These line discharges. It looks like a line connecting the sun to something else. We usually don't see where the line ends, but it has to end somewhere. You don't just get a plasma discharge out into space. I mean, even if you have the electrodes on Earth and you get a spark discharge, the spark will go from one point to the other. It won't just go out to nowhere. So it has to end on something.
Yeah, I think we're right on the fringes of this
CME impacting. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're.
Look at that plasma density is very high, Scott, at the bow shock.
God.
And yeah, we are seeing. Yeah, we are seeing magnetic reconnections already. You can see the magnetic field lines crossing. So yeah, yeah, maybe it's impacting already. Actually.
Yeah, I think we're on the beginning fringes of it. I'm going to pull up the actual solar wind. It's not looking too good either. Yeah, just give me 1 second here, and I'm going to pull this up because this was going to be impacting early. You know, they use that UTC time, so it's supposed to be about noon. Or no, about 9 a.m., 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern time. Solar winds, they're not that high yet. They're getting there. Oh, there they go.
Well, that is, it went up to 700, so.
We were just up to 800, almost 900.
Oh, okay. I saw.
901.
Yeah, that is strange. The CME speeds are not necessarily that high. It's usually the fast solar wind that is very high. But yeah, definitely 700.
Oh, it spiked. It spiked to 901.
Wow. Yes, it's spiking. So I think maybe it's getting mixed with the fast solar wind. Don't forget that this was a high density area, and the high density area is usually where the fast solar wind overtakes the slow solar wind. And so we are going to get some fast solar wind amongst this CME. So maybe that's it. This is a big mixture. This
Oh
time.
my Lord. Look at the inner arrows near the sun.
Oh,
Watch how erratic.
Yes.
Watch. This is insane.
Yeah. They
We're only on the beginning phases of this.
Yes.
I mean, this is going to last all day. All day.
This is fast solar wind impacting. And don't forget, when we get a fast solar wind, the effects last for about 4 days on the ionosphere. So we can expect the earthquakes and volcanic activity to follow for 4 days after this. But we're getting a lot of fast solar wind because we're getting a lot of coronal holes facing the Earth. It takes about 2 days for it to get here.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is going to be one hell of a day. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to take a quick look at the at radiation levels coming in real quick and see what's happening there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. As you see, I told you already we're getting magnetic reconnections, and then we get this particle density coming in, and that's what we see here. So the high density impacting the magnetosphere from the front is causing basically a hole in the bow shock through a magnetic reconnection mechanism.
Yeah, we've seen that before too.
Yeah, I've written an article about that, explaining that. And there you see the particles go behind to the night side, and then another magnetic reconnection flips them right into the atmosphere. Well, some of them will go into the ovals. I think we may get aurora. We usually do with CMEs. I think we will get it this time as well, of course. And then the question is, how far south will they go? And that depends on how many of these particles coming in. And as we can see, I think there will be a lot. So we'll probably get aurora to lower latitudes.
Wow. It's been only a few times that I've actually seen the bow shock model on this radiation influx model.
Yeah.
You can see on this model right now how heavily the bow shock is fluctuating.
That's right.
Kind of rare to see that on this model, but that's just going to show you how intense things are already, and it's only 10:49 a.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
So this is impacting right now as we speak, because those models go off of UT time, universal time.
Yeah.
So I think their universal time for us is 4 hours.
Yeah. Anyway,
ahead.
it was a prediction. It can come in a little earlier or a little later.
Yeah.
Because what we saw yesterday was a prediction. And sometimes it comes in faster than normal and sometimes a little slower. And we had a lot of, it got slowed down a lot in the previous weeks, because I think there was a stellar wind behind the Earth that was basically impacting the solar wind and slowing it down. That's why we had such slow solar winds for a couple of weeks. But now we are getting fast solar wind, and yet there is still evidence that these stars are out there behind to the side of Earth and impacting the magnetosphere as well.
Doctor, a lot of people are asking, whenever you start doing the public speaking and once we get everything organized, everybody wants to know if you're coming to their state.
Well, I hope so. I hope I can get to everybody.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. It's been quite some time since I've been on the road because I used to travel for a living. I've traveled just about all over the world. I'm not looking forward to flying, so I really don't want to fly anymore. Too much radiation up there. But I don't know. We might have to get a tour bus.
Maybe. Yeah.
Things are not looking too good for.
No, we're definitely getting a lot of magnetic reconnections and very high density impact on the bow shock, where the solar wind is slowed down dramatically, but very high density because of that red color, and it's very thick.
Yes, Doctor, I'm gonna step outside for just a few minutes. I'm gonna take a little look out there and see what's going on. If you want to go ahead and take over this live stream.
Okay. What am I? Does anybody else have questions?
The only thing else I have to ask is, what is the when you're looking at the sun and you're seeing different shades of like petals that are coming from the sun? What does that mean?
That petal effect, I don't think it's coming from the sun. I think it's to do with the sun simulators they place in front of the sun. And they have light sources, not light sources, it's like light bulbs inside it, very strong light bulbs. And they have a center portion, and then on the outside they have, I think, magenta colored lights. And then these lights project the pink across the sky. And because, remember, the objects that we have up in the sky are emitting red or magenta light colored, the fact that the sky looks a little bit magenta confuses the eye. I think that that's what they are trying to do. They are trying to confuse our eyes so we don't see these objects. Also, I have seen that the sun seems to at times be so much brighter than normal, and it doesn't have the normal edges that it should have. It's not the right shape. And that is all to do with the fact that they want to hide these objects that are around the sun. They're getting brighter, so they're getting easier to see, and they're trying to confuse our eyes so we don't see them.
Yeah. I kept, like I say, on Facebook, I sent it in to Scott, and I haven't sent it in to anybody else, but I captured something that is, I'm shocked at what I've got. And you can see like there's two different planets. One's more of a red, and there's another one that is around it that's a little bit smaller. And like I said, I sent it in to Scott, so I'm hoping he'll get a chance to take a look at that, because I would sure like the intake on that.
Yes. Well, Carlos Ferrada referred to this object as a comet planet. So, of course, it can look like a planet, but a colored planet. He called it the red comet planet. And these objects can look like planets because they're about the same size as Jupiter. Jupiter is a gas giant planet, but they emit light. And that's how you know they are stars. They are old stars. They've gone through their main sequence stage. They ran out of energy to a certain extent and started the aging process. And then they became white dwarfs, which are bright on the outside at least, and then they gradually lose energy further and become brown dwarf stars. But the brown dwarf stars can rejuvenate to a certain extent and start emitting light, but because of their size, they can look like planets. So yeah, that's I think why people call them also Planet X, the unknown planet. It is the size of planet, but it's actually a star because it's emitting light. And often they are binary because most stellar systems in the universe are binary. So or they have the actual planets around them, which could be rocky planets. So it could be that's what you saw.
Yeah. I just can't wait till you guys see that.
Okay.
That picture. You got to see it. It's really amazing.
Where did you send it?
Oh, I sent it probably maybe about 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah, do me a favor. That's when I was having problems with that Google. If you wanna get it back over to me right now,
maybe
I'll be monitoring the email and I'll grab it ASAP.
Okay. Or do you have my phone number, Scott, or can I give it to you now? Or
I got a new cell phone because they wiped.
Yeah,
my
no,
other
I've been
cell
trying to
phone
call
out
you.
again. So I lost everybody. I lost all my information. This is the second cell phone. Oh, let's see. They whacked one of them. I got a new one, and I just got another one 2 weeks ago. So I'm going through cell phones.
Would it?
I'm going through a lot of cell phones. That's all I got to say.
Would it be safe to give it to you now, or?
No, don't give me a cell phone number over this.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to get it to you again.
Yeah. Email it to me right now, and I'll go ahead and grab it.
Okay.
And I'll put it up. I'll put it up on the live stream here. We'll take a look at it.
Okay. Yeah, because I want you to see that picture. You're gonna love this picture.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just in the right place at the right time when I got this.
Yes, many people are, and they see these strange things. Well, there are many strange things in the sky at the moment. The geoengineering makes it difficult to see them, but not impossible, because they are getting brighter. And all that it takes is just be observant, look up at the sky often, and you will see things.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm always looking at the sky. I'm always taking pictures and video. I don't know. Oh, I had another question. I have a cell phone telescope. I put it on my phone, and does that work or does it not work? I've got some pretty cool shots, but I'm not 100% sure if it works or not.
Well,
I mean, some of them, you can get some ghosting images in those little cell phone telescopes. I've seen them before. I bought one. I experimented with it for a short while. Taking photographs of light sources with that little cell phone telescope, not a real good idea, because you really do get ghosted images reflecting back into the little digital camera in your cell phone. Now, if you get an image like what I caught on May 10th, that's a different story. I mean, that was through a telescope imaging, and that's a totally different story. But using those little telescope, well, I'll tell you what, real quick, hold on 1 second. Let me grab mine so everybody can see what we're looking at here. I'll show everybody this, but yeah, when you attach this to your cell phone, there is a very, very high possibility, 90% possibility, that you will get reflections back into the camera, directly into light sources like the sun. And you may get spectrum colors, red, blue, things of that nature. But each and every photograph, it has to be examined. I have ways now. I learned from Prep Aussie down in Australia. And I have a good friend of mine that does analyze a lot of photographs for me, and each time I send him photographs of things, he says to me, "Oh my God, Scott, you're scaring me to death. You're scaring me to death." And he has confirmed a lot of the photographs that I've taken myself and that other people have taken. And, they've come out to be real objects. So it's just a matter of analyzing the photographs, and thousands of videos and photographs coming in every day. I could actually use a whole team of people, doing this. We would literally flood YouTube with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of video and photographs, because that's how much is coming in. It's pretty incredible. But I'm going to give this little telescope thing to the doctor here, and I'm going to let her hold it up so everybody can see. But when you're taking photographs of light sources with these objects, these little telescopes, you know, you probably have a 90% chance that you're going to catch something that's a reflection or a ghosted image transferred back into the little digital camera. Big problem with digital photography and digital cameras, especially the Nikon P900. Beautiful camera, you know, state of the art, big time zoom. But whenever you start using that camera to take photographs of light sources like the moon or the sun, you can guarantee 100% you're going to get a ghosted image that's going to look like another planetary object. You're going to see it every time because it's digital. Now, if you take an old-fashioned 35 millimeter film camera, you have a better opportunity using something like that. The digital technology is great, but when you're photographing into direct light without a filter of any kind or professional equipment, you're probably going to get some type of a ghosted image. You know, there was a lot of it going around YouTube. I screwed myself up a couple times, you know, with photographs, but when I sent the images over to my friend who is a professional photographer, studio, the whole 9 yards, he's been doing it for 25 years or more, you know, he explained that to me. And the digital technology for us is not our friend. 35 millimeter film would be much better. And, you know, last year I did have a German lady who, you know, was an amateur astronomer, and she uses 35 millimeter film, and she develops her own film. And man, she sent me some spectacular photographs that scared the living daylights out of me. And then I lost touch with her in October, and I haven't heard from her since. But they were pretty incredible, and they were of the moon, clearly showing another object off in the distance near the moon, and it wasn't any of our planets. And it got me in a lot of trouble with the trolls, man. They were, you know, they came after me. They came after me with everything they had when I showed those photographs. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it looks like the earthquake activity is really picking up around the world right now. I was just checking it on one of the live earthquake maps, and I don't know, folks. I'm telling you right now, I think we are in for one hell of a rocky ride throughout all of today, tomorrow, and probably for the next several days. There's another small stream coming our way 24 hours later that will probably impact a few days later. It's nothing like what's happening today, you know. And I hope, I mean, I just hope everybody makes it through these next several days as far as the earthquake activities go. Maybe it will just maintain itself. We'll have some 4s and 5s. But, you know, when we start dealing with the people that live in these third world countries, they don't have, you know, very good solid structures. You know, this is where people lose their lives, you know, and it's bad enough that we see people, you know, suffering the flooding, the wild weather, these landslides and these mudslides. And that's what I mean. You know, people are losing their lives on a daily basis. And just because it's not happening in your neighborhood, you know, doesn't mean that it's not happening somewhere else on this planet. And that's what it's all about. You know, just because I see something in the sky where I live doesn't mean that somebody standing in the middle of the desert in Saudi Arabia is going to see the same thing at the same time. You know, because I get that question a lot. Why can't I see it? Why can't I see it? You know, well, I can't help it that you can't see it, but where I'm standing, I can see it.
Well, a lot of people think, you know, you just look up at the sky and it's going to be sitting there like, you know, like a big old Christmas tree, but it's not. You have to be patient and wait for the right opportunity, just like fishing. You know, it's not going to just jump in your boat.
Yes.
You know, you have to go out and look at it. Like Scott said, you have to keep your eyes in the sky. And
yeah, I'm gonna show everybody.
You know, if you don't see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna show everybody this real quick. This is a little telescopic lens you can buy for camera systems, or excuse me, cell phones. Now, for taking regular photographs, and and I'll show you real quick how it goes on a cell phone, and you really have to take your case off and the whole 9 yards. But it kind of goes on your phone like that. Some of them have tripods and things of that nature. But you can see, if you try photographing light with anything like this, you're going to have some issues, especially sunlight. But these are pretty sophisticated. They're pretty neat. I think for $60, the trolls were saying that this is what I used to photograph the blue dwarf out near the sun, 93 million miles away. They're idiots. But yeah, this is you can buy these for like $69, I think. They do work very, very well if you're just going to take some ordinary photographs and things of that nature. But for photographing light sources, yeah, it's not too good of a device to use. But they are pretty neat,
Yeah, I've got one just like it.
Yeah, they're definitely a neat little object, and it's kind of a pain in the neck to try to get it over the camera lens, but it's definitely a cool little device. But when you're photographing directly into the sun, that's always going to be an issue. And I tell everybody, you're gonna take some photographs, depending on where you're at. Try photographing early in the morning, in sunrise, and at sunset. And that seems to be the best times to try to catch these objects. But I just looked outside now, and they're chemtrailing the living hell out of the sky. It was a crystal clear day this morning, so they're obviously up to something, and they don't want us to see it.
Yeah, they're not doing it over here in California.
Not yet. It's still early.
Haven't seen one yet.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, there are obviously no objects for you to see maybe right now, because they seem to chemtrail when the objects do appear in your neighborhood.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coming to a neighborhood sometime near you, Planet X. Gil Broussard, I had a conversation with him back in February, and I asked Gil straight up. I said, listen, tell me, what are people going to see? And he did say that there's going to come a time, there's going to come a day when everyone around the world will be able to step outside and see things in the skies that they've never dreamed of before. And the shock of reality will grab a hold of the world population. I hope we don't ever come to that day, but I think we probably will. That's
all the signs are showing, that things are happening.
Yeah.
I'm 56 years old, and I haven't seen this much stuff going on, and it's just happening all the time.
Yeah, I mentioned that to everybody too. I say, listen, when was the last time, you could think back in your life when you walked outside and you saw some of these things? When? I'm 49 years old, so, I've spent a large portion of my life outside, and
right.
I don't ever remember the skies being anything like they are now. I've been all over the world. I've been to the Caribbean. I've seen breathtaking sunrises and sunsets. I've lived in South Florida. I've seen the sunsets and sunrises there and blah, 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 blah. But no, man, this past year,
I've been to quite a few places, and I've seen sunsets and sunrise.
What's happening, Marty? Who's that?
My name is Jeremiah from Phoenix.
Oh, what's happening, Jeremiah? I thought you were Marty. What's happening, buddy?
I'm just trying to figure out, why can't I see anything?
Well, we were just going over that. It sometimes it all depends. You're in the right place at the right time. the right conditions. You know, they do so much of this chemtrailing crap. I was having dreams for a while that that they were using a chemtrail substance that, you know, you would see the chemtrail stream come out white, and then it would fade to blue, sky blue. So if you paint a wall baby blue and you put a black dot on that baby blue wall, and then you take the same color blue paint and you roll it right over the black dot, it disappears. And the chemtrail substances that they're using now, they're way different than what they sprayed in the skies last year. They dissipate into this real thin, almost like a thin atmosphere.
Okay, last year you can see the pictures on YouTube, and this year you're seeing the same pictures. By now we should have been able to see it if they were posting pictures last year. And a lot of the pictures I see, it's like a real sun, a second sun out there.
Yeah.
And if a second sun, you're able to see it like that on a picture, more people would be able to see it on a daily basis, and I don't see nothing. And I've been in a few countries around the world, and I haven't seen nothing. I've always paid attention to sunsets and sunrises when I travel, and I travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
But these pictures and what you see are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's what's bothering me.
I don't think that you would actually be able to look up directly into the sun and actually see it unless you had maybe, you know, like a welder's lens in front of your eyes, and maybe you can see it. I've tried it. I've yet to see anything like that. But I'm sure that maybe in the very near future, I think people are going to see some things that may cause some heart attacks around the world from time to time.
Yeah.
People start seeing things that are clearly going to be there. And then again, you know, we don't know about the technology that the government has to mask these objects. You know, when I did speak with Gil Broussard personally back in February, he mentioned to me that they were using lasers of some kind to, you know, shroud these objects. The technology, I'm not familiar with it. I don't know anything about it. Is it a possibility? I talked to the doctor about it. It's probably a possibility. I have a lot of suspicions about the International Space Station and what they're doing and what their key role is. You know, they've been up there for so long, man. How many more experiments can you run? What are you doing up there? You know, are they doing something to shroud, you know? Seen some weird pictures, man, coming from the International Space Station. Some really weird stuff. And then, as soon as you start seeing it, what do? Boop! They cut the feed. That's what you see. This is what you see.
Most
technical difficulty. Sorry about that.
Most space pictures black out the sky behind them. They always black out the sky. I can never understand that. I can never understand that.
Very hard to
I
say
think
what
on
these
August
bozos do, man. You know, I wish I could spend one day, you know, behind the scenes of what these fools do, because that's basically what they're doing. You know, they have the technology to fool all of us. I was watching some technology not too long ago that the United States military is using. I think it was developed over in Japan, but it is it's almost like holographic clothing for the soldiers that they could actually, they're invisible.
I've seen that. It's like a robe TV screen, and it gives them the background.
Yeah, it's weird. Man. You know?
Yeah, I see.
Then I've seen this crazy video of this invisible soldier running across the battlefield, jumping on a tank, and dropping a hand grenade inside of the tank. And the only way you could see him was through the night vision goggles, but this was in broad daylight.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, that was all over YouTube. You could find that on there. So, you know, that's what really gets me is not knowing about the technology that these governments and these militaries really have. And that's what's upsetting, and they're all going to use it to their fullest to make sure we don't see all of this, because they'll lose control. You know, and Gil told me, he said, listen, that's the primary mission. Number one, do not lose control. You lose control of the people, then the governments are screwed, because we outnumber them no matter what. You can put all of the militaries together in the entire world, they're still not going to overrun the common man. They may have the technology, you know, to hurt us all, but we outnumber them. And that losing control of the populace is the biggest problem. They don't want to be overrun.
One more question before I get going. September 23rd, is there any truth in that? And a guy debunked it by stating that the alignment they're talking about on September 3rd happens quite a bit.
The thing is, I cannot come up with any dates about what is going to happen. I don't know exactly where these objects are. I know they are there. I know they are affecting the Earth. I know the effects are getting stronger. I know we are getting hit with something right now that will cause some events happening on the Earth from what has happened before. But to predict any dates for me at this stage is not possible. So, and I just wanted to add, if you want to see objects, the best thing you can do is actually take photographs of the sun and then look at the photographs. Because looking at the sun directly is sometimes difficult because the light from the sun overwhelms your eyes. So that's what I just wanted to
I took
say.
photos of the sun quite a bit, and I get a lot of objects that aren't there with the phone.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll take multiple pictures and I'll see the objects in different locations. So I'm thinking it's some kind of lens flare.
Yeah, it's probably.
You'll get some lens flaring. You know, what I do is if I take any type of photographs directly into the sun, if I could see the lens flare through my camera, I try to move the lens flare out of the way, either to the left or to the right. And then when I get those photographs, I load them into my computer, and then I start changing the contrast, and I start inverting them. I start using different types of photo programs to see if I could bring out an object that I see. And inverting the photographs sometimes is a good idea, but you do have to manipulate the photographs. You do have to put them through different filters. You're going to catch, you know, different types of shadowing and things of that nature. And you'll know the difference. You'll definitely know the difference when you capture something. But there's no doubt about that.
Do you think on August 21st, with the eclipse, we'll be able to get a really good view of the planets?
I'll tell you what, I'm waiting for this. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this eclipse situation, because they have the ability to let us see whatever they want us to see. You know, if they wanted to right now, my friend, they can put a hologram image of Jesus Christ himself in the sky, and you wouldn't know the damn difference. I mean, they do it in the military all the time. They use holographic images. They use all of the deception they possibly can. If they want to put a Smurf up in the sky, they can do it, and you'll believe it. That's how good the technology is, and it's been around for quite some time. You know, I mean, what was the name of that rapper that they did the holographic Tupac? I mean, yeah, Tupac. They put him back on stage in a concert
Elvis!
10 years, 20 years later after he was gunned down.
I want Elvis to come back.
Yeah.
Bring back Elvis.
You know, so I mean, it amazes me sometimes at what the governments are able to do. The deception is so real I think it's so real that people don't believe that. They don't believe that your own damn government deceives you. But look at your tax return. They're all about taking, but they don't give. But what they do give is deception. And that's why I don't trust them. Because I don't think any human being on the face of this earth should be deceived at this point in time. This should be about preserving life, not allowing life to be put in danger with no way of protecting yourself, no knowledge about what's coming. And then, what do they call that? A casualty of war. What's the other word, the terminology that they use?
A victim?
Expendable.
Yes.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage. That's it, Sammy. I knew you'd get it. That's it. And the world population is just going to be the collateral damage. Yeah. And that's not right.
It's the nature of government. It's the nature of government that break down the roots of the word government.
Yeah,
that's Latin, just not right, man. Govern your mind. Government. Control your mind control.
Yeah, who the hell are they?
That I got from Alex Jones.
They got this God complex that they're the ones making these decisions for me and you. I'm not down with that, man. I don't know about the rest of the world population, but I'm not down with that kind of crap.
Hey, that's why God's hands are at play right now, and these are the brown dwarfs you're seeing, and it's part of the end of days, the end of their days. End times means the end of this deception, the end of man ruling. Because people take different approaches, religious wise, but the rule of man is the rule of Lucifer. Yep. It's satanic. The rule of man on this earth is satanic rule. Mm-hmm. It's not the rule of man of God. It's not the hand of God that's in control. It's man, and man has made a mess, a mockery of life. And so now it's God's turn to take charge, and this is what's happening, and this is what's called end of days and end times. And you can't. I'm fully, fully convinced of it. And nothing convinces me more of it than seeing these planets and brown dwarfs. Nothing convinces me more.
I have a philosophy that was formed long time ago. My mom was probably the one that helped me form this idea. But I think going back thousands and thousands and thousands of years, if they would have just let women run the world,
come on,
we wouldn't be in this mess.
Yeah.
But I was on an island in Greece, on the Greek islands, in Crete, and in Santorini. And guess what? That island blew up, Santorini, and the Minoan culture and everything.
Yeah.
Women were in charge of that culture. Don't kiss their asses. Stop it. I'm not being misogynistic, and I'm not being a woman hater or anything. Both men and women both are part of the human race, and they both have it common to them. We all have it common to us. When God takes charge, and it's revelation time, and it's time for the end of all endings, it's not the end of life. It's not the end of the earth. It's the end of the rule of man on this earth. And it's a dramatic event. It's going to be it's already dramatic. It's going to continue to be dramatic,
Yep, and that's just.
I'm sorry, I'm going off like a Bible thumping religious rant, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the earth does need a cleansing, and I'm all down for it. If I have to be one of those casualties or those that victim of the cleansing, I already know that hey, I'll be in a much better place. I won't have to be trolled. I better not be trolled in heaven, man.
I think the majority of human life will survive it.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think it's going to be like a mass extinction or like something in the millions of dead people. But there's going to be a serious humbling, and the humbling has already begun. The humbling will also come in the material world, where money will become worthless. The entire financial systems of the world, the economies of the world will collapse. That you can see in front of your faces. That's going to happen. And it's all part of the plan. It's not a coincidence. That's the word I was looking for. There are no coincidences now. This is all directly the hand of God at work. Sorry, I was never super religious, but let's say I'm inspired now because it's really in your face, beyond
pretty much
shadow of a doubt. Yeah,
I would definitely say, yeah, it's good terminology.
There won't be a third world war, and there won't be a nuclear war. How do I know? How am I so confident? Because I have my sources. There won't be a third world war. There won't be a nuclear war. There will be a humbling. The human race is about to be humbled, and it'll hurt. But most people, the majority of the human race will survive. I don't know the numbers. I can't guess how many will die, how many will end up really, hurt by this to the point where they'll die. But that can't be avoided. But I don't believe it'll be a mass extinction, and I don't believe millions of people will die. I'm not going to go off on a fear-mongering a direction of apocalypse and the end of the world. It's the end of man's over this world.
I just hope a lot of politicians, man. I hope a lot of them bite the dust.
They will. They will.
I'm serious, man.
Look at the states are going bankrupt in America right now.
Oh my God, I know.
Isn't that fireworks enough? Politicians are going to get hanged. They're going to get lynched.
Oh yeah.
Or they're going to. Figuratively, or I don't know, literally. But it's going to be the end of them. Government is not going to be the same as we are used to, and it's just because it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Because I'm going to write something down.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It hasn't.
Politicians in the guillotine, and me standing there on the platform with the black hood over my head, and I'm the one holding the rope. To drop it. What do they call that guy? The executioner. From him. Tell them all the time, hey, you better hope and pray that when they lead you up onto that platform, that I'm not the one standing there holding on to the rope to that guillotine, because all of the dirt and all of the hurt that you've done, it's going to come back. It's going to bite you right in the ass.
It's going to happen.
I'm holding that rope.
Everything. People are going to go crazy. Look at Venezuela. If they could, those mobs would lynch their leaders. They would lynch them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't want to be a politician. I would not want to be in the military. I would not be in government of any kind. Nothing like that whatsoever. No way.
The only exception is that in the United States, the military is on the side of the people. It's just like the same thing that happened in the breakup of the Soviet Union. They didn't turn on their own people. They turned on their government, and they overthrew their government. So I think being former military myself in the U.S. military, the majority of the U.S. military is on the side of the American people. Here and there you have garbage. Everywhere in the you could find garbage, but the majority of the military is on the people's side in America. So if there's going to be a revolution,
that's why we have so many foreign troops over here. They've been training over here for years. They're scattered throughout some of these states. The last count that I got on them, there was over 150,000 UN troops from many different nationalities throughout several Midwestern states. They've been there for quite some time. They're like literally trying to blend in, but their accents give them away. Plus, they all stick together. And they're not really leading a normal life.
That's called a target-rich environment for the U.S. military and for the armed citizenry of the United States. Because when that shit hits the fan and those people actually try to overtake the country, they're going to be overrun. It's like they're going to be rolled over, And on top of that, I'm a Trump supporter. I like Trump, and I'm glad he's been elected. I know he's controversial and he causes a lot of arguments, but having him in office is much more preferable than having, God forbid, Clinton or Hillary Clinton or a successor to the Democrat. I don't think the agenda, the UN agenda, taking over at Agenda 21, whatever it's called, and all the other crap that they planned or are trying to pull will ever work in the United States. They'll just get rolled over. Because once they expose themselves and once it becomes reality and it's no longer some sort of speculation or theory about whether it's happening or not, and everybody sees it, you'll have millions of Americans, bloodthirsty, ready to just, go off. They'll go off on all of those people that think they can overrun the country, the UN forces or whoever. Those people are going to be.
That's not going to happen. There's too many militias, man. Too many people with good knowledge here in the United States for that. I think Hillary Clinton, I think she's a freaking reptilian. And you want to talk about presidential controversy? I mean, look at Barack Obama. I mean, come on. The United States president named Barack Hussein Obama. What in the did we do there, man? And then they elect him once, and then they elect him twice.
Yeah,
man,
America went
to politics, Sam. We'll be here for 3-4 hours.
Well, America's waking up, but America went to sleep, and it doesn't have anything to do with race, color, religion. The mass majority of Americans of all realized where they were deceived and where they were lied to, and now the real pain is about to hit because the deception of years of having been told lies about the dollar and the economy and the banking system. That's when they're going to lose control, and I think that the Black Swan event, they're trying to maintain control and continue this illusion and deception of sort of stability in America. But when these earthquakes and these wars become too much for them and they lose control, they won't be able to keep it together.
Oh no!
And it'll fall apart real quick, and that's what's about to happen.
Yep.
And when the dollar becomes devalued and it becomes worthless, that's when you can see mass riots in the streets of America. That's when you're going to see the shit hit the fan. That's when you're going to see the military turn on deep state in America because they're aware, they know what's happening, and the UN troops or any of this crap that's going to be that they're planning won't work. It won't work. They're just going to ask for trouble.
I just want to get my hands on one of them tanks, man. Get me behind the wheel of a tank. I'll make a difference. Hey, did you see that one guy? He armor plated a massive bulldozer and destroyed that town not too long ago. They couldn't do nothing, man. He put armor plating all around the cab of the bulldozer, and he was steamrolling everything, man. Buildings, houses, telephone poles, police cars. I mean, he was just steamrolling over everything. So just picture me in a tank.
Flying off the handle.
You give Scott a tank, I won't even need the ammunition. Just give me the tank.
Well, you don't have to. The military is on the side of the American people. The majority. They did surveys. They did a lot. I don't think that you'll have to go like Rambo on everyone. The majority of the military.
Man, I want to go Rambo on all them, man. I want the biggest damn tank there is. I want an aircraft carrier. I want to drive that thing right up the government's ass. I'm so sick.
I'm still qualified, and I never shot down a real helicopter. Only like a aircraft. Real live fire.
Watch, I hear a knock at the door right now. I hear a knock at my front door. It's probably the NSA right now. But anyways, I wanted to say, me and the doctor, we have an appointment. I was just looking at the time. We have 20 minutes to get to an appointment real quick. But because I'm going to end this live stream, but probably later on, maybe early evening, we're going to jump back on here. And, I think these front porch type of discussions is nice. It's a shame that the beginning of this live stream was like it was, but that just goes to show you how they want to infiltrate and shut the information stream down. And, we got through it, and, the doctor had to slap a few people around there, little old her.
It's the best they got, and I'm just laughing at them. That's the best they got.
Hey, Scott, can I get your email?
What's
Scott,
that?
Can I get your email?
Yeah, it's nibiruPlanetX2016 @gmail.com. All one word.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure it was the same one.
Yeah, I think people are getting, they're mistaking the email, even though it's in the description box. People were sending emails to Nibiru Planet X. They were just messing the email all up. And, that's why we're going to be changing probably the email and getting away from the whole Google Gmail thing. Because, that's not right for them to just delete 7,800 emails and empty my freaking box.
Yeah, because I'd send an email and then I'd get a message back. Well, this isn't Scott. This is David Mead or something like that. And I'm going, what?
Oh, David has all my emails.
Yeah, I've been sending pictures and stuff, and he goes, well, I'm not Scott. So, and I was getting, he sent it back and saying that this is David Mead. So, and I'm going, oh, man.
Well, David probably has enough information now where he could write another book.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Well, listen, we'll probably be back, early evening on another live stream. And, you guys are always welcome to come back and join us. We got about 20 minutes to get to an appointment. And after we get back from that, we're going to start taking a look at what's happening around the world, because I think we're going to be very, very busy as far as reporting on what's happening over the next several days. And, and everybody keep your eyes and your ears open. And I hope everybody stays safe. I really do think we're looking at some really bad times coming up here over these next couple of days. We're already seeing some of it right now. And I don't live in an earthquake zone, so
I do.
It's hard for me to sit here and wish everybody, hey, I hope everything's okay, when these earthquakes are popping off everywhere. There was one in upstate New York. They're happening in Georgia, Arkansas. They're like all over the place. There was one between the border of, Switzerland and France or something like that yesterday. So many of them happening now. So many that we can't keep track of them. And then they're removing the data and they're lying about the data. Oh, my God. My head feels like it just wants to spin right off of my shoulders.
Can I ask a question? One short question.
Sure.
Ask Claudia just a simple question.
Okay.
Claudia, what are the chances of the sounds that emanate from the core and bounce off the atmosphere? What are the chances that there can be a global sort of sounding of this blast, this trumpet sounding, this kind of frightening sound? What is the potential? Is there a potential for it to be heard around the world?
Well, people have been hearing these sounds, and they are real sounds, and because everything is getting worse, and the objects seem to be more and more visible.
It has to do with electromagnetism.
Yeah, and the effects on the magnetosphere is getting stronger. I would say that there's a strong possibility that is possible, that these sounds eventually are heard all the way around the world. Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy that I'm talking this way. It sounds like I'm kind of like a fanatic or fatalistic or whatever. But good. That's supposed to happen. I'm glad it's gonna happen.
I've heard it. I was out fishing one day and I was wondering, what in the world am I hearing? I couldn't believe it. Was just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that happens.
Those videos, man. Those videos are really freaky, man. They shut down Newark Airport last year for that. In the middle of the night. The workers on the runway, they started hearing these crazy sounds. They thought it were sonic booms. They're checking radar, the whole 9 yards, and they kept on hearing this this crazy sound. I've heard some different theories about it. I've heard about one scientist said it was the internal core of the Earth turning. Yeah,
you mentioned it in a previous video you made about like a year ago, and you gave a very technical explanation about how you hear these sounds with the waves coming out from the core and bouncing off the
atmosphere back. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah. I did hear about that, and I did watch some of that. But it's definitely pretty crazy, those sounds.
But the aurora is accepted sound because there's friction, electromagnetic friction, which creates these sounds, right? Is that sound?
I hope I don't ever hear it.
Well, the thing is, what creates sound is a movement through the atmosphere. It's a compression and a rarefaction in the air molecules. That's what creates sound. So what you have is, it is possible that you have electric fields, electromagnetic fields that cause this pulse that causes that to happen to the atmosphere, to the air molecules. And then that causes a sound wave to travel through the atmosphere. But that's what has to happen for you to hear sound. You have to have a compression of air molecules, and that then travels through the atmosphere.
Right. Hey, Sam, how's that for an answer?
It always blows my mind with the physics. I was always interested in physics, but I never really got into physics. I was always more into, I'm an artist. I'm a photographer, so that's more my field.
There's physics in everything.
You know, she scares me with her mathematics. After looking at that thesis book of hers, I had a migraine after looking through some of those pages. I admire it, but I don't ever want to open that book again. But listen, folks, we're going to have to run because I don't want to break speed limits on a national holiday, because I will end up getting a ticket. But we will be back later on early evening, and we'll all get together again. And I'm sure we're probably going to have some things to report. I hope it's not really bad stuff, but under the circumstances, it probably
happy for us, guys. I'm happy that you're there in the States, helping out Scott. It's and don't pay attention to the stupid trolls.
Thank you.
They're worthless. They're like ineffective, and they only can talk crap. They could only talk shit. That's all they got.
She's getting pretty good. She's getting pretty good at busting them up, man. But Sam, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Mike, the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back probably early evening, and we'll run another live stream and get some questions and answers out there for myself and the doctor, and be looking forward to it. Everybody have a safe day out there. If you hear of anything happening, drop me an email, jump on the Planet X News Facebook page, get the information over to us. We'll definitely check it out. But this is definitely, a sign of the times. We're all living it.
Count your blessings that Trump got elected. Thank God that he got elected.
I want to be elected.
Yeah. I'll sign up.
I want to dance a jig on the Oval Office desk. That's what I want to do. But anyways, folks, we got to get running here to an appointment. And I wish everybody a happy, safe holiday. And we'll be back later on this afternoon. Stay tuned. Take care.
Hey, Scott, I'll drop you my email and I'll give you my phone number too.
Okay, you got it, buddy. Take care.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.